new looking at.
I know,
I think they're more like,
Fridays I was
it's almost like
there,
a
they
soup,
used to have it
like,
those in the morning,
understanding
so.
Yes, one time, it's money in the crowd, twice a week. Weeks.
You do have to amend,
I have to do.
you'll have to make an amendment to put the, oh, right.
I don't know where they are.
But it was, I mean, I really, really, really like that. It was super nice.
Yeah.
Walking back and forth, it was outside. So it's a permanent whistle? Yeah.
We
Yeah, it
make,
was
got,
good out
everything
here.
has concrete, cornhole boards, all this stuff.
Yeah, they were-
Finish on them. Hole
I
in
don't know if they
open
would
from the
take
back.
the
So they're
sail
100%,
part down.
weatherproof and, we use it out.
I don't know, I've seen ones, I've seen places that are,
Actually, the
all
stop
stop
was
or,
hard,
you know what I'm talking about, like they're hard for the
the
hard.
hard is actually part of the water.
So then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Kind of hard, they could do pickleball stuff.
Like a foot of snow is like our max.
Um,
And even if we do have snow, it's only gonna last. And we do only have.
There's a comfortable chair.
She is 2 years old, she's not even.
I'm just trying to look out for future little ones.
We're going to keep up taking down, also need back out.
There you go. I know, that's not enough, but I do it.
It's like,
We should be able to find it.
like, I'm assuming,
Kevin, I didn't see you walk in, you were so glad.
was another meeting.
well,
What's that?
yeah, I think.
You're fine.
I think,
You are.
oh, I'm over you.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you put it back over, like April.
No, Cody
So,
was good.
how are you?
Good, are you okay?
You see?
And April, it is snow.
Make sure you turn on the webcam when you're ready. Thanks, sir.
This is red on.
Red's off, green is on.
It's on now.
Hello. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can we all stand for the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome.
Someone needing a new nameplate?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Be advised that we have 4 assisted listening devices available for anyone who is hard of hearing. Please come forward if you require one. In accordance with Resolution 2-2012, you are informed that Scott Stills and Vincent Tribe is recording tonight's meeting for posting on YouTube. The meeting is also being recorded electronically and is available for viewing and listening on Microsoft Teams. In accordance with the Board of Supervisors resolution, the rules of conduct for public meetings and public comment periods shall be observed and are listed at the bottom of the agenda.
The minutes aren't in here. I'm so sorry.
They weren't in the-
I know, we have to keep breaking them. We'll do the agenda there.
The agenda,
We keep it. It was the September 9th email, they're not in there, but the emails now on Monday, they're in there.
I went to Compass with Nathan.
Yep, they're in that compass.
I only took them out for you guys, and I don't have them tonight physically in front of you.
Well, we did get a copy of them.
But they are, yes, you never see the copy
Okay.
in the email.
I'm sure everyone will do it.
I'm good.
So, without further ado,
Got any motion to approve?
would anyone like to second it?
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. At this point, do we want to make that amendment for this evening's meeting now?
So what you would be amending is, on the original publication of the agenda, the jump update was not on there. That was added after the 24 hours. So we would just have to make an amendment to add it to the agenda. She would
Right.
just, that would be.
Well, yeah, and I would say, I think we all knew that we were going to do this tonight. It's just an omission, clerical omission. I don't think it was I hope we all knew. So that's good. Right?
So we need to make.
You have to make sure
Make
Like,
the
make a-
amendment to the
Yes, you have to make a
agenda.
motion to make the amendment to the agenda to add the,
Discussion of jump.
Would anyone like to
I make
second it?
it.
Second. It's been seconded. All those in favor? Okay, and at this point, I'd like to open up the meeting for public comment. Please.
I'm always good for a public comment. Okay. So I have another handout, okay? I didn't publish enough of them, so we can share. Okay, Lorraine Louis, Vincent Drive. So at the last meeting, I was here and I talked about the skate park. And Joe had brought up, like, to have a follow-up of what was happening at the skate park. And if you may not have been aware, so at the last Board of Supervisors meeting, Matt Arnott did come into the meeting and discuss the skate park. And he drafted a letter, so I don't know if you guys had seen the letter, so that's why I made a copy for you guys. So he's offered a 3-year maintenance contract on the skate park. And Warren's here, because I'm really not sure of the end date, because this didn't have a date on it. And there was a clarification of what the end date of the skate park was gonna be, that was gonna provide maintenance. But what I wanted to point out in the letter, and I didn't get a chance to talk about this in the BOS, was bullet number 3 and his closing statement. So I'd like to read the bullet number 3. So he's offering to seal the cold joint of the bowl area to alleviate the unanticipated weeping. During construction, this area was consistently dry. There was no way for us to see groundwater penetrating the basin. The overall plan was lowered 2 feet by engineering, and I'm guessing engineering is YSM, stamped the drawings, in order to have the park's elevation not require too much fill on the northeast end. So that brings in questions that statement, because I knew that site was wet. I think you guys knew the site was wet. So why the elevation was lowered into the water, I'm not sure. So I had a question about that statement, which puts YSM in a position. And the last statement was, he said, we feel that the skate park is in very good condition, aside from some surface cracking that is bound to happen. As noted in the plans, we cut control joints to avoid cracking, but concrete can tend to crack beyond our control. So I have a comment about that statement, because yes, I know there's control joints, that's typical construction, but the point that I have something about is that if you think about your house, your sidewalk, your patio, you don't have a concrete poured and expect it to crack. So we don't expect concrete to crack, but concrete will crack if maybe the site's not prepared properly or something happened with the mix. So I don't think we, as the people that paid for that skate park, should, just take for granted that, hey, all concrete gets cracks. So those are my 2 statements. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for this.
Excuse me?
I said thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So, item number 1 on park discussions are the jump update.
Okay. On the screen, you have, again, what I'm prepared to talk about tonight. So I want to give everybody just a quick overview of the public meeting. We did hold a public meeting a couple weeks ago, and so I'll give a little update there for those of you that weren't able to make it. And then talk about the final master plan and how it is. So the public meeting did result in a couple changes, I'll say somewhat minor, but we did make some revisions to the graphic that you saw the last time we met as a committee. And after that, I will go through a presentation of the probable construction cost opinion. So we basically put a price tag to the construction of what is on the master plan. I'll have handouts, I can go over that with you, and then finalize with a discussion on phasing. Again, this is it's a big project. It's something you're not going to chew off in one phase to finish out construction. So I want to talk about just logical steps for how to move forward from here. So to go to the master plan, we switch. So this is the master plan that was presented at the public meeting. Again, it should look familiar to you guys because this is pretty much what was there last time. And just summarize some of the comments we received from the public. The idea that the suggestion to add lighting for the basketball courts and maybe even the pickleball courts was what came up. The understanding that there was a disc golf course that was being installed in the site, and that should be added to the plan just for consistency. The pickleball courts, there was a question about the need for pickleball courts and the number, and maybe the idea of tennis. And I know as a committee, we've talked about that. The one gentleman that brought the question up, we asked him very specifically, what do you think? We wrestled with that, tennis or pickleball. And he said, I'm a tennis player, and I've never had trouble finding the court. So it wasn't his opinion that there was a real need in Humboldt Park for tennis, and I think, pickleball courts is a good way to move. Other comments, solar lighting was suggested for the courts, if there's a way to do solar lighting to be environmentally friendly. Stormwater management came up, the concern being the master plan does show a couple stormwater retention facilities that, to help manage and mitigate the new impervious that's being introduced to the site. And just the idea of standing water and then mosquitoes was the concern that was brought up. And again, it'll be an engineering thing. It is something that stormwater management facilities are meant to de-water within a certain time frame. So there shouldn't be standing water for extended periods of time. So that's something that we work through in the engineering. A suggestion for a rock climbing wall and a new playground was made. The idea of a dumpster being added in the parking area, like designate a spot for a dumpster, so it's a good idea. Restrooms should have self-locking doors to reduce the need to run out and open them and lock them every day. There was concern over the bleachers. The plan shows really just maintains the dugouts with that existing baseball field, but the idea of, hey, it's a spectator, we need spectator areas, so we wanted to look at that. And then probably the big one was foul balls. There was concern about foul balls leaving the ball fields toward the pickleball courts as well as the playground. So, again, good comment that we want to consider as we move forward. And then a little bit of screening from the neighbor across the roadway there. So those were the comments that we received. So generally, not a lot of changes. After the meeting, we went back and made just a few modifications as a result of the master plan, or of the public meeting. You can barely see them, but we did ghost in the new disc golf course in the area from the information that was provided to us. So that is now on the plan and a component of the master plan. We added a dumpster location. It's hard to see. It's labeled in the new parking area. the lower left-hand corner, we have kind of right at the entrance, which is proximity to the restroom, proximity to the hub of the park there, so, you know, dumpster there, and that location be convenient for access, and it, you know, I suggest being shielded with fencing or some kind of, something to knock down the visual of it.
Talking a big dumpster?
That was,
Probably like what we have up there now, like the one that is right next to the porta potty in between the sheds.
Oh, there is a big one.
There's it's a 6-yard dumpster.
Yeah, nothing huge, I don't think. Is that enough area for a dump truck to turn around in? Because I think now the one is a front-loaded.
yeah, I mean, in the end, we could figure it out, but, yes, the turning radius of that would accommodate certainly accommodate a truck.
How many parks have dumpsters? I mean, isn't that encouraging? You know, why pay for a waste hauler?
Yeah. I mean, many parks do,
Do?
yeah.
I just don't see us creating that much garbage.
Is it full now, the one you have?
Yes, but not mostly from the park.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I just don't get it.
something we can, you know, as a group, you guys can talk about.
The people use that dumpster to private dump?
They are currently with the Twin Valley Baseball Association, their responsibility is to empty the trash cans around the baseball fields, and they're supposed to take them and dump them into the dumpsters. I don't know how often that occurs. We do have a dumpster on site here, so it could be possible to remove the dumpster. And again, moving it down to one baseball field, that's gonna reduce the amount of trash during baseball games. We might be able just to have Public Works bring them back to our dumpster and remove that. But I feel comfortable leaving it on the plan in case things
that's fine.
change.
I mean, that was just
But
my quick thinking.
we've always had dumpsters there as long as I was told.
Hey, could we put like, I think a lot of like businesses have dumpsters in the back and usually they have like a barrier to kind of
Right.
shield them, and then there's also a lock. So if
That's
baseball
true.
is the one that has it, we give them a key and say, but who's gonna come over like the 8-foot wall and just toss it over there? So I mean, I don't know if it's gonna fix anything.
Move on, sorry.
Okay, no, all good. Bleachers, again, we've added back bleachers next to the dugouts, along the edge there. We also added shade trees along the trail, again, just from, you know, days of watching my daughter play softball, it was nice to find a shade tree along the sidelines to watch, so I think having shade area will also help for people that bring their own bag chairs and sit along the sidelines. We did add a new backstop with a canopy to the graphic and to the cost, as well as some sideline netting along the third baseline, just to again knock down those hard line drive balls that might be a nuisance to the pickleball courts. And then another suggestion was, you know, the idea of foul balls to the playground area behind. And again, I think the canopy over the backstop will go a long way to help, but we've also added large shade sails to the playground area, which will help reflect foul balls, as well as provide, much needed shade for the playground area. So I think, we can have those two work together to provide shade as well as provide a little bit of screening for that. And then, again, at the end of the meeting, there was the resident across the street was talking about concern of headlight, or just concern of visuals into the skate park, and something we didn't do in the first master plan that we did add here. I do think having some low-level screening along the skate park could, we don't want to block the view in, but I think something to just, something maybe 3 foot high that would just kind of diffuse the view into the site and still provide visual access in, but not see the skate park itself in its entirety right there. So a little bit of low screening was added to the master plan graphic. those are the changes. I don't know if there's any other thoughts or comments that you guys had since last time we met? Or I guess those are the changes we're recommending coming out of the meeting.
What are we at for parking spots? You know? Because, like, now that we're getting rid of 2 baseball fields, I don't know if parking's as a premium as we were thinking. I know we talked about the big thing with this park is there's not enough parking, but if you eliminate 2 baseball fields, I mean, theoretically, you're cutting the amount of people by, 4 times, because you won't have 2 more games and 2 more games showing up.
Yeah, but again, my understanding is that the parking there was always overflow. When those full baseball fields were, there was always parking in the overflow in the lawn area.
Yep.
So even the existing parking wasn't that. And then, again, there's 46 new spaces that have been added up in the new parking area. And when you think about, pickleball, 4 courts are full, and there's doubles playing, I mean, there's 8 people, there's people waiting, that's a lot of cars. Basketball courts, we typically would say we plan for 10 to 12 cars for that, so it's.
So the number is consistent with what you would think?
I would say it's pretty good,
Okay, I just don't want to turn the park into a parking lot.
nope, understood.
So we've subtracted that's a good point, we subtracted 2 baseball fields, and we've added a pickleball court, community yard, a new basketball court, a new modern basketball court. And hopefully we'll get more use than,
Do the pickleball courts have fencing around them like a tennis court?
They do.
no.
So is it as high as a tennis court? I'm just thinking
We've
for the
done
foul
4
balls,
foot.
you might not have to worry about it if it's, you know what I mean? Like the tennis courts are so high now,
Yeah,
a foul ball, there would be no chance. At least I don't think.
we've done a lot of pickleball courts at only a 4-foot height, but we've also had a lot of municipalities request an 8-foot height.
Okay.
Pickleball players, some will request 8, especially at the ends. But I don't know. For the sport itself, I don't think there's any real issue with a 4-foot high court. But maybe along the one side, to your point, an 8-foot fence might be appropriate.
What's on the-
How wide is that drive going from the existing parking area to the new area?
It's 24 foot.
Okay.
So,
2 lane.
correct.
I was also going to say that in addition to the things that I specified we've added, we've also added the skate park and disc golf.
Yeah.
We are losing 2 baseball fields, but we're adding several new sports to the park. And hopefully, an updated or upgraded tot lot.
And youth playground. Yeah, that's another thing that will generate traffic, I think, or generate cars, because I don't think the playground in the back gets a lot of use, but I think a brand new playground would probably attract a lot of new users to the site.
Where did you, you said that, people suggested lights, are we just going with no lights because you probably don't want to encourage people being there after dark if the park closes at dark?
Yeah, and that's a policy issue with, that you guys probably need to talk about. You'll see in the cost opinion, I have cost for them, so you'll just get a flavor for what it would be if you wanted to light the courts. In a lot of master plans, a lot of times when we do this, lighting is almost a phase to itself. And it typically is the last phase. But, if it's something eventually you think you want to do, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, now's time to think about it. The next phase, you can run conduit and have it there so that, if it does take a couple of years down the road, pickleball courts might be built, and then 5 years later, you might just add the lights. But, you put the infrastructure in now that's relatively inexpensive. It's good to think about it now.
What service do we have in the snack shack now? Is it 200 amp?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you already have service run basically to the center of the park, so we maintain that at least in some fashion. I know we're knocking the building down, but if we maintain that, then you only have conduit to where you're taking it.
Right.
instead of,
You'll see in the cost opinion, we specifically take out, like lighting and distribution because costs vary so widely from the manufacturers. And just to your point, we don't know where we're getting it from. We don't know if the service in the building is, capable of handling, so there is a little bit of a wild card in that, but for the fixtures themselves, I think we have adequate costs in there for discussion. And if there's no other thoughts now, we can jump into, we can move on to the next part. Like I said, we put together a construction cost opinion.
Do you need more, Chuck?
Nope, I think I got it. You can take one, pass it down. So this is an itemized cost opinion for the entire, everything you see within, on the screen there. So, and, I don't want to bore you going through everything, but I was going to give you just a, it gives you an overall flavor for what some of these facilities are going to cost. And again, it's more to help guide the discussion of phasing, which is going to be the next topic on here. But as you'll see, if you jump to the third page, the overall budget's roughly $2.7 million for all of those improvements that are indicated on the master plan as presented tonight. And again, just to run through it quick, and you guys can look at this and ask questions whenever, but a little bit of demo and site prep up front, just removing the existing courts. Some of the existing features are all itemized there. Earthwork, I do see a little bit of earthwork, really mostly geared toward the parking area, the new parking area, and then the courts in the back. Because really, everything else is going to stay pretty close to grade, but there will be some fees with earthwork moving around. Parking, access drive, see the cost there. Bituminous trail, this is essentially all the new trail that will go through the park. We have it all shown as an 8-foot wide trail, so a nice walking trail to go through. Various concrete, item number 5, just, concrete at the different areas, all itemized there. There's a little seat wall shown just near the pickleball plaza, so fee there. Pickleball courts, again, one lump sum for them. So again, this includes 4-foot high chain link fence, a color code system, and of course the pavements and the netting. Basketball court, same idea. The basketball court has an 8-foot fence completely around it, color code, and the nets and posts. The volleyball nets, really just lawn, so we just have some fees in there for the nets and the posts. The new playground, again, kind of a wild estimate, but we give you an allowance for the playground equipment, which we think is pretty generous. You can certainly do less, you can do a lot more, but just to again put some fees in there, and it includes the surfacing, the safety surface, which would be the wood carpet, an under drain system for the wood carpet so it properly drains, and an edge around the edge of the concrete edge to hold all that in. Item number 12, just baseball field backstop renovation as well as sideline fencing, netting, which is higher than just your traditional baseball field fence. We showed little higher nets on the third baseline. Site amenities, benches, picnic tables, little things like that, all added up. Then item 14, the pavilions and structure. So we put in a restroom allowance for $140,000, which you get to a fully functioning two-stall or two-room restroom with a utility chase in the middle. Large shade sail system to go over the playground. The small pavilion at the basketball court, as well as the pavilion stage at the open lawn area down there. Money in there for that. Sewer and water extensions, just to get sewer and water to the new restroom. And then the last couple items, lawn and landscape, item 16 is, just seeding everything, the meadow seeding along the wetlands and in that area, additional trees and shrubs and some of the buffers that we talked about. Then the last couple items are just, again, this is a master plan, it's very conceptual at this point, but items 17, 18, 19 are really just percentages of the fees above, and they're based on like our historic numbers. When we get a job, we have a project that's bid, we'll look at what the average of, of all the park work, how much of it went to stormwater management, how much of it went to erosion control, how much goes to bond mobilization and layout, which is real cost the contractor has to put out. So the percentages you see are kind of the average based on other projects that we've done. So I think they're realistic, but you will have stormwater management facilities, you will need to control erosion during construction. They're all real costs that, again, are estimated here for this. Again, bond mobilization and layout, your contractor will need to be bonded. They'll have to mobilize equipment to the site, and they'll need to have a professional surveyor lay out all the facilities. So on average, that's about 12% of the overall construction budget. Contingency, we just put in a 15% contingency because again, we're early in the phase. There's a lot of what ifs, but just a placeholder for that. And then professional fees, again, the engineering, design, and DCNR typically allows 15% for professional fees. I don't think it'll be anywhere close to that, but put it in as a placeholder. And then the last one is that lighting component. Again, if you wanted to add lighting to it, again, it becomes a policy issue. Does the township want to encourage nighttime use of the park? But if that comes about, some numbers there just to kind of give you a flavor of what that would be added to costs.
So these bathrooms or restrooms are permanent, they're not gonna be serviced and dumped, it sounds like a porta potty.
Chuck would know, I
Yep,
don't know.
Yep. Where the price came from is we were actually doing a project. I had a price of a unit that I think would be very similar to what we're talking about here. It's like I said, it's 2 stalls, a center chase, plumbing, has sewer, water, and electric, and all that. And totally installed, that building is $129,000. It's a concrete block building, concrete walls, a roof. So that's where that's where I got that price from. But to your point, yes, it's a permanent, in-place facility.
Chuck, what's the, for the playgrounds, wood carpet? What-
That's that,
Mulch and
the
stuff.
mulch.
Is it mulch or is it that, like,
That foam and wood.
it's
Like,
to me mulch is
like
like wood
squishy
chips,
fabric.
but it's like that squishy
Fabric.
fabric-y.
It's wood chips, but it's called engineered wood fiber. It's made specifically for playground. The way it is shredded and used, it's actually long fibers of wood, and it's real wood, but it's long fibers of wood that are it becomes ADA accessible because of the way it knits together. It kind of creates a firm, stable surface for wheelchairs and things like that. So I'll just say it's traditional playground mulch.
Okay,
What's the upkeep on that, do you know?
As it's natural wood, it will decay, so you will need to top it off, in a perfect world, top it off every year. Most municipalities tend to go 2 years and then kind of fill it up. You should break it, it's a loose fiber, so it does get kicked out from swings and things like that, so you do want to, it does require maintenance. It does require routine maintenance. There are other things to talk about. They make a similar rubber, shredded rubber. I wouldn't recommend it just because that is permanent and kids tend to kick that everywhere. And it gets in the grass and it gets on the sidewalk and what. And I don't know. We haven't had great success with people really liking that. And the other option, of course, is the port-in-place rubber surfacing, which is a really nice, high-end, zero maintenance, but it's very, very expensive. We have $3, I think $3 a square foot for the wood carpet. Poured-in-place rubber is in the neighborhood of like $27 a square foot. So to give you a magnitude, but to your point, you put it down, it'll probably last you, I mean, it'll be warranted for about 10 to 12 years. It'll last you probably 15. We've had some last close to 20 years.
And no ongoing.
You don't really have maintenance with it. So it's a big investment up front, but long term it goes, it reduces your liability long term. It reduces maintenance. You don't have to top it off every year. So there are benefits.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because like, a lot of these things are new things that we don't have now that could, increase our maintenance costs, as far as like pickleball courts and all that, and what is the recommended maintenance? How often are we supposed to repaint the lines? How often? So we don't get to a point where we are with like the park now, where stuff's in disrepair, so we can form a budget,
Yeah, I can put numbers together for you or estimates for that kind of stuff. I mean, it is, again, my gut is tennis courts and all, the basketball and the pickleball courts, 10, 12 years before you need to really worry about resurfacing those. The playground, like I said, is pretty routine maintenance.
every year, put down.
You definitely want to rake it and clean it, make sure it's not kicked out and all that. And, routinely you should. But yeah, I'd say at least every other year, if not every year, you want to get a load of it and spread it. And then otherwise,
That's good.
yeah, I mean, the pavilion roofs, if you go with a metal roof, they're pretty, you can go 30 some odd years without worrying about resurfacing them. There shouldn't be a whole lot of other maintenance. The stormwater management facilities, based on what they are, they might be a little trickier to mow if you go with a traditional, above ground facility, which is kind of what's shown. So probably a little more maintenance for upkeep, but again, we would want to design it so it's low maintenance. A lot of times we'll plant them with like native grasses so that they can be mowed down once a year or twice a year, and but allowed to grow kind of wild.
Okay.
So John, looking at this, looking at the first page, if you just take the first page and you go from the top to the bottom there, does that pretty much, that pretty much covers demolition, earthwork, the new parking area, concrete goes along with all of it?
Well,
And the walls and the 4 pickleball, does that get us to the pickleball courts along with demolition and grading?
Yeah,
And grading?
So my next task is talking about where I think you're going, Kevin, is just phasing, like what should phase 1 be? Is that where you were headed, or?
Yes.
Okay. So I did this graphic, there's no real rhyme or reason other than just, I kind of grouped it into like logical areas of construction, like logical sections of the park. So if you look at it, phase 1 obviously was a skate park that's built. And you look to the far right of the plan, I can see the whole right side, the kind of the riparian harbor vegetation, picnic area renovation, and the volleyball courts up there. I can see that all being kind of one phase of construction. The parking area, to me, thinking out loud, the parking area would probably be, the new parking area would probably be one of your first efforts. And then the question is, what do you think is the priority? Because if that new parking area goes in, you're pretty much going to remove the existing tennis courts and the existing basketball courts. So what is the priority? Do we want to do parking and basketball, or parking and pickleball?
It could be parking, pickleball, but I think the first thing Like, I think the stuff on the right, you just leave it go. Like, we don't need to do anything on that side. The playground, we already discussed last meeting, that we were gonna try to have the guys from the Public Works kind of do a little bit more work on that and see if we can get some drainage. And if we can do that, then we're gonna let that live out its life, and when it's done, then we'll move into that phase. So I think that might be the last phase we do.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if you're gonna rip out the basketball courts and the tennis courts, you probably do something, you're gonna have to probably put the pickleball courts in first.
Okay.
The other concern there is parking will require the current top of the building.
Yes.
We haven't thought about it all.
Oh, you have the one in the back.
Yeah.
Repaired.
Get repaired, you have the one in the back that's repaired and
That's
drainage.
really-
What?
That's not really a top up, right? That's for the kids.
She uses it.
Yeah, I don't know, right, I think the one in the back is more,
The one up front, I think, is actually a little bit more for older kids, like there's more gaps, and that wiggly bridge that they have to walk across,
yeah,
it's harder for her to go through that than to go through the rigid bridges and stuff on the back.
I guess the only issue then is how far it is from the
Yeah,
wall.
it's a wall.
yeah. I would say, we did like we called it a park crawl, and we looked at a variety of different parks. And kind of to give you a perspective of tot lot, not tot lot, like all of those things. I would say that the playground in the back is more of a tot lot than the one that's by the snack shack. So keeping that back one is the better way to go, in my opinion.
Well, that has like a balance beam, a
Yeah.
lot of monkey bars and stuff,
Yeah.
like stuff that older kids would do.
Let's
And just have-
do the parking now, having to do that front playground.
And something to think about, again, the master plan graphic does show an age segregated playground, so there is a 2 to 5 year old area, and there's a 5 to 12 year old area, so there's two separate areas. And that could be part of this phasing discussion, and maybe phase one, because we're losing the playground, is, you put the parking in and maybe just one of those two, the pot lot or the youth, and then, then maybe the pickleball. It's like, I guess, it becomes the what is the plan, what do we think we want to do? Because there's a lot of ways to go once the parking goes in, but I kind of want to get a sense of you guys as the.
And the current restrooms could stay with the parking lot.
They'll be close, I mean, they're right where it's basically right where the top lot is, so, I don't know.
But we also
We have
have,
porta potties there too. that
Yeah, I was
work
gonna say.
for the whole construction.
But they could stay for now, right? I mean, they're not in the way of the parking.
It looks like it's not, but it would be
It
close.
would probably be close, because the grading,
Yeah.
you probably figure out.
Are we talking, what, 3 phases over how many years?
I'm thinking you're gonna be like 10 years or so.
So you have the current DCNR grant phase 2, which is for the resurfacing of the existing tennis and basketball court.
How much is that for?
It's a little over 200, and it's again a 50% matching grant, so you're talking probably spending $450 to $500,000 in your first phase, which would be the second phase, because I guess phase 1 is the skate park. We have the ability to be a little bit flexible if we don't want to resurface and we're going to rebuild. I have no doubt DCNR would let us use the funds for resurfacing to actually just build new, either the basketball or the pickleball court. It sounds like the pickleball would be the one to do, so you could wrap up the DCNR grant for the pickleball reconstruction, add in the parking lot, and then that would probably be the first phase, which should be completed in the next, I think we have another 2 years on the grant. I think we get an extra year extension, so within the next 3 years, I think the initial second phase should be the parking lot and the pickleball court. But then it's gonna come up to the recommendation of Rankin Park of how soon do you want to do the remainder in phases, how soon do you want this part complete? And then again, it's gonna be my job, administration's job, to find and figure out funding sources. So it's really not about, it's how soon you guys would like it to be built, and then my job is to go out and,
No, it's yesterday.
yeah. Right, so again, if it's 10 years, there's a large amount of time for, you know, so my goal is to apply for an LSA grant for this, the window opens next month. I think what we have here is enough to apply, and that's up to $1 million. So that grant award would be issued the following year, so if we would get that $1 million and we have the 225, now, again, you're talking about 1.5 million, so that phasing would be much shorter. But I think to Chuck's point, he wants to know priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, and then we can decide based upon funding what that timeline looks like.
When will we find out about the LN?
The LSA grant?
Yeah.
So that window for application starts in October. So we can apply for it this year. The award is that following October. So you won't know until 2026 fall, and then the money becomes available sort of 2027, and you have 3 years.
Is there any match to that, or is there just?
no match for an LSA grant.
Does that have to be used for any certain project?
So it's a local shared account. It's from the gambling proceeds in the Commonwealth.
Okay.
So, again, if we get that grant, it would just be like the DCNR, you have to do prevailing wages, competitive bids, everything that we're doing for the current DCNR grant. But there is no matching funding, but you can use other funds.
Is it a long shot?
So we'll know next month. So last year we put in for a wheel loader and also for $988,000 fire truck. The first LSA grant we applied for was for an ambulance, which we were awarded. So I think this year, depending on if we get one or both, that is going to tell us our chances. However, it's more competitive, and the LSA grants are broken up into Senate districts. So every district essentially has their pot of money, and it's going to be based upon what the state representative office believes is probably the better of the product. I don't know how much input they have, but they do have some input of what projects they stand behind and rank.
Is there any way to do, say, the parking, the pickleball courts, and leave one of the existing basketball courts in the back? Because where that is,
Getting away with demo and all that.
I don't think it will, because
You don't
it's
want
almost
any
all the way up
equipment going
against.
over brand new,
Yeah.
you don't want to have any equipment going up a brand new driveway.
That's almost impossible to avoid. Unless we're gonna do all of that at once, you're gonna have equipment going up there, because if we're saying the first phase is doing the parking and the pickleball, the basketball is gonna eventually have to get done, and
Why
there's
do you
no.
think the demolition's gonna go and include the basketball?
Yeah, but you demo it, you still have to put it back in, so you're still gonna have rollers and everything going up there. You put down,
Yeah, and
surfacing.
a lot of times when we do phase cost opinions like this, we'll phase 1, if it has a big parking area, we'll just do the parking down to like the base course. We won't put the final layering course on until the final phase, just for those reasons that, phase 2 is coming along and they're gonna track up whatever, and then, so when the, and again, the binder course
That part of the
looks,
final.
for all sakes and purposes, like a final layering course. You don't wanna leave it too long, but, it can certainly last a couple seasons as just a binder course. And then, then when phase 3 comes, the basketball court goes in, then they can do the top course on the. So we can look at that again. It'll be a good way to keep phase 2 costs down, because that parking area is a big expense, but if we take the wearing course off, that's a chunk of that, so it'll save it.
Yeah, if we could do that, the first part and then the final code is the last phase.
Yep, the overlay, the final
Yes,
overlay.
that would be good.
Yep.
It does look like you know, that basketball, at least the basketball court seems to sit back far enough that
Because I don't want to rip everything out, like, so I don't want to go from, like, you do have a tennis court where they can play pickleball, and you have a couple basketball courts, to having nothing for multiple seasons. And if we're thinking that basketball court's $100,000, and that you're not including the stuff at the back end that goes with it, so you kind of have to add in some stormwater, some mobilization and stuff like that. So it's not 98,000, it's like 130 or 140,000, something like that. So if you add that to all this other stuff,
$50,000.
Yeah, the contingency could be nothing, you know, it's truly just a, you know, cushion for.
I'm just trying to figure out how we fit the, 450? What can we do with 450 in the next maybe year and a half or whatever? The
Well,
grants?
Yeah, Warren's got a point. It really is, the grant was given for basketball and, well, pickleball. So I do think it, you know, maybe phase one is the parking area to the base course, the pickleball courts, and maybe try for the basketball court too. Then you're,
Do you think you can do all that for 450? It doesn't look like,
I think 450 is a push, but.
yeah, that's wrong. So how much more would it be without, because we're thinking that we're gonna look for another $1 million a grant to finish or do more stuff. How much more money that will we have to put into our money to get that kind of stuff all done at once? That's the,
Yeah.
So you can have multiple DCNR grants running at the same time.
So we can put in another one?
So if you want phases, you could put it, now again, they don't typically do more than $250,000 per phase, per grant. But you could apply year after year, and again, it's just dependent on how many other municipalities are putting in funds.
Now, the fact you have an open grant, I don't know how much that, you might lose a couple points for that.
So we got phase two while phase one was still
Right.
open.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So if we close phase one, which we will by December, and I think if we make forward progress versus just saying, oh, this is what we want to do, but actually start moving towards mobilization, that actually, again, we probably will lose some points, as Chuck said, because we are doing, that would be 3 grants within a relatively short amount of time. But I think what goes for us is that this is our only active recreational facility currently, where I think most municipalities, like where I live, probably has 15 parks. So because we have a sole park, the second largest township in the county, I think we win some points with that.
Yes.
okay, so what you're saying is we could maybe do the parking and pickleball courts while we're applying for the next grant? And how long does that take to kind of go through? Is that another whole year?
The grants, well, how long does a DCNR grant? It's a little bit shorter than the LSA grant, but it still takes several months to get.
You apply in April and you won't know, like, we're still waiting for last year's. So it's, you apply in April and usually it's in the fall, like October, November, they'll announce who got awarded.
So it's 6 or 8 months versus the 1 year for the LSA. And I want the board to understand that, again, you don't have to just fund this with grants.
True, but I want to try to, you want to use somebody
We will
else's money as much as possible.
So the township always is gonna be applying for LSA grants, right? So whether that's a piece of equipment, you could think of it this way. We get a wheel loader that we put in for $384,000. That's $384,000 we didn't pay for the equipment. So if we get that award, well, there's $384,000 of unallocated funds that could be put elsewhere, right? So if we get something else, again, we can use that offset to potentially apply. But again, we keep looking at grants as they show up. Our intent is to apply for LSA grants every single year. And I will keep putting them in for the phases of the park as they come.
And like, okay, so we could, theoretically, we could say that, are we kind of in agreement that phase one's the parking, the basketball, and And the pickleball courts, is that what we're trying to,
I'm okay with that.
or phase two? Sorry, phase one's already done.
Yep, yep.
The other thing I was looking at is the low hanging fruit is the community lawn and that pavilion stage.
So we wanna do demo first.
Well, that's the, I
So
mean,
the
I don't,
township can do that on its own.
Okay.
So just removing
Fencing.
the fencing, the dugouts, removing the pitcher's mounds, the township could do all that. Obviously, the pavilion and the stage, that would have to be added on. But just removing field one is something that the township would do this year if the board's interested in, and really get that into shape
Mhm.
this year as a community space.
yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
At least for the first field, if you wanna leave the one in the back for now, I don't really care, but.
Well, and I'd like to see it, the pickleball and the parking to get started. My next phase would be the basketball court and the top box.
Yeah.
As one,
As a second
third phase.
Yes.
phase.
So Sherry, can we, to me, phase two should be parking, pickleball, and if possible, basketball.
That would be acceptable with.
Oh, well, and I'm gonna say phase two B is like the community lawn that the
No, no, I
township.
think,
No, that's.
I think,
Well, but I'm
I
saying-
think community lawn should be one A, so like we can do that this year.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not what,
One B.
one B, whatever. I mean, I don't think we can do the pavilion stage, we probably won't wait for funding for that, but we can make it an open field.
Yeah.
Now, the basketball court, how much does it save us, or does it save us anything to just refurbish that back basketball court? Sorry.
I think they got estimates of $130,000 to resurface.
To resurface it, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
that's,
pretty cracked, and the problem with bituminous pavement, when it cracks to that severity, there's not a lot you can do to really stop it from cracking in the future. It's always gonna have like that reflective cracking, even if you overlaid it with a nice thick, it just tends to continue to follow those cracks.
So if you leave that surface, like an unfinished surface, would there be any issue leaving the one existing basketball court till phase three, and tear that
Yeah,
out
no,
with it?
it's a good point when you brought it up. I think we could look at, certainly leave that if you wanted. It would fit, and I forget, the basketball courts run.
They're more like,
Yeah.
parallel with that back line. Yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah, that should work.
You may be able to keep both.
Well, I think the second one might be getting close to the parking lot. But if we can leave one and then make that phase three, ripping it out, putting that in with the top lot, then we can spread the money out a little bit more.
As long as it doesn't cost us more money to keep it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, it would
Make that a lower
It would be
priority.
left in the condition that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'd leave the perimeter fence around it on the three sides and just not have fence on
Yep.
this side, just be done and,
Remove the tennis courts.
And one of the basketball courts. If you need that
I think it's a
space.
good plan. I like the setup for phase two.
Yeah, if we can leave that basketball in a playable state, once we kind of phase two,
okay.
then it could become a lower priority than the top
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
Because you will be losing that until we get to phase three, the top lot at least.
So where do we go from here?
So Steph's talking about the walking trail that goes around the perimeter of the baseball field and the pickleball courts. If you want to add that into phase three, or?
See, I think I got a flavor. I mean, because again, everything, with all the things being percentages of everything else, it's like, let me play with it. I'll work at phase two being the parking and the pickleball with the potential for basketball, but we'll leave the existing court there. And then,
It depends, like,
and
if
I
you get
say
$1
we
million
say the
grant in
walking
'26,
back to that final.
maybe phase three has a whole lot more in it than just a
yeah.
couple things.
So you can,
And do that.
so, yeah, I'm sorry, Chair. if we need to shuffle around what goes into different phases, it's not an issue. So if we come into a windfall of grants and we want to spend 1.7 million for phase,
we say this is somewhat of an academic exercise in a way. I mean, I do want to hear the priorities, and I will put it together as a priority plan, but, Ron's right, if you have 500,000 next year, or you have $1 million next year, we'll tailor it to fit whatever budget you have. But I think most important, let's focus on phase 2, which you have actual grant money for. We'll try to get a realistic base for what that is. And, like I said, we'll target the parking, maybe just do a binder course, the pickleball, and we'll see where the basketball falls. But at a minimum, if we can't get basketball, then we'll leave the existing court back, the one existing court back there. And then I could, like I said, I'll break it up and put together a phasing plan and get it back. Get phased, cross opinions back to you, and you can, if you want to, go from there, but, again, they're gonna change as funding becomes available.
How's that work as far as the timeline? I mean, we have an idea of what phase 2 costs.
so when Chuck breaks that down, we'll reach back out to our DCNR rep, because we're gonna have to make a change to the phase 2. And we'll get their buy-in, and then their authorization to change. And then I guess the next thing is, once the board signs off on that, Board of Supervisors, then we'll have to get some plans started to be designed. And then start the process of bidding it out, right, getting all of the bid requirements from DCNR. That would probably take, I don't know, 9 months if we,
It sounds fair.
if we,
Because again, there's stormwater management and permitting that's gonna definitely kick in as part of this, so that does not help the timeline.
and then we're gonna have to work with the Conservation District, because we will be doing over an acre of disturbance, so then we have to deal with our fellow county partners to work with them. I don't know if we're gonna need a MPDES permit or not.
You will.
We will, so now we're dealing with the state.
So we're looking, best case scenario is if we could possibly start October of next year.
Oh, building? I'd say 2027.
Good, 27. Okay.
Yeah. By the time you go out for the bid,
Yep.
getting our funding
Yeah,
sources
even
aligned.
bidding this time of the year,
So we
you're
might
basically out of
By
season.
that time, we might know if we have other grant.
The grants are all gonna run either 9 or 12 months out. So the LSA grants, I'm gonna apply for something when it opens in the fall. We're not gonna know until October of next year.
But that's still 26, so now 27.
So the money doesn't become available to 27, but again, we need to work on getting our phase 2 going, and if we get that $1 million or whatever they give us, then, as Chuck said, we can just
Add to it.
add to that phase, or if that phase has already been bid out, then we just work on the next phase.
So what do we do if we don't get the grants?
We'll have to break it up into smaller pieces and pay for it.
Well, yeah, you break it up or look for other funding source, and that, again, that's a Board of Supervisors decision of how they wish to spend their finances every year.
So,
There may be pickleball specific organizations that we can look at for grants, physical and things like that.
Yeah, we can go seek donations. You know,
so where do we leave this?
So right now, Chuck is looking at a phasing thought process. So Chuck can break it down in the phases and what those, because he'll break out those fees on the last page through the phasing cycle, which will give us a better understanding of our true landed cost for phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And then again, it'll be a decision between this board and the Board of Supervisors on the funding approach. If you only want to go through with a phase, if there's 50% funding, if it's 30% funding, that'll be a decision. That's not tonight.
So what we could do, I mean, Kevin, we can go through and figure out what stuff we can do without any funding. As far
So there's
as-
a lot of it, so a lot of this work, again, you know, Chuck and I talked about this, a lot of the demo is done by the township. The
Yeah.
township can do some grading, right? They can do a lot of the low-hanging fruit. We have grader, we have roller, we have a wheel loader. So the purpose of this is just saying, if we bid it all out, this is, there's always gonna be cost savings if we do the work ourselves, the working con.
But I mean, if we wanna see any kind of change within the next year and a half, it'll have to be from stuff that we do ourselves.
Well, we have the phase two right now,
Yeah.
which, again, as long as it covers pickleball and or tennis, and, you know, and again, this makes sense to do the parking, we can move forward with
Well, you
that.
have that, but you said you have 9 months of permitting and all that kind of stuff before, so
You're saying, you're asking what can we accomplish?
now without really any permits or anything like that, so ripping up the baseball field in the front, making community
Yeah,
one.
so we're not doing any changes in disturbing, we're not really disturbing it, we're just removing existing structures. There's no issues with that, it's just that when you're going to be putting impervious surfaces, and that's when you come into the permit.
Do we need to leave any of those impervious surfaces so that we can take credit for it when we go back to stormwater? Like if we're pulling a dugout out, that's impervious surface that we can take credit for when we put in something else somewhere else. So do we have to leave it there?
I don't know what the timeline is. I mean, there's records, certainly we could do the calculation of what exists out there right now, and we'll have that a year from now or whatever. But I don't know how this, I honestly don't know what the conservation district, how they look at that. Like if it's been removed for 6 months, does that, I'd have to ask the engineer.
I'm just curious. I mean,
I would think you'd get credit for it. I would think you'd still be able to.
because that would shrink how big these stormwater management would have to be.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Let's see, that's all I had. Again, next steps, we're basically at the end. This, I think, is my last meeting with you guys. So the phasing plan and the phase cost opinions is what I will work on and get them to you. I'll get them over to Warren when he's done. And then, as Warren said, as you get, we'll help with the preparation of whatever you need to administer the grant you have, to kind of transfer that money you already have, is what needs work, we'll work to get that done. And whatever you need supporting information for the LSA grant, let us know, and we'll get you a cost opinion and a little phase map if,
So I just need a cost opinion for $1 million worth of work.
$1 million, okay.
So that's the max you can ask for. So I'm just gonna shoot for.
Okay.
And again, it's very, I think this cost estimate, the map, is probably gonna be, and we don't have to break it down, I could probably give them this cost
Okay.
estimate, and to say, we're looking at $1 million to start phasing this in. We have the supporting documents.
Okay.
Again, the LSA grant, Chuck, it's 1,000 words or letters per answer, so it's like two sentences. And you have to answer, and that's what they're raising it off of. Because again, they're giving state county building money away, and they typically give out 1,800 of these to school districts and municipalities. So the amount of work for an LSA grant compared to the DCNR is so much smaller.
Yeah, okay.
Literally, the ambulance was 3 paragraphs, and they gave us $330,000.
Very good.
And then Chuck, I think they would like you just to stick around just for the next the shade sale. I believe the board has some questions
Okay.
that I can't answer.
All right, so now,
You can just leave that up.
that's all for the jump update. Thanks, Chuck, really appreciate it. Number 2 is the shade canopy. We discussed the shade canopy last month, and we put it on the shelf so we could all think about it and think about options, and I think it's glad that we're glad that you're here now so that we can discuss the shade
So I think,
canopy.
did you presented, more with the, like, the idea of this, like, this specific one, that,
So what you saw last month is Chuck and I were discussing after a comment
yeah,
from some residents that we did not use all of the phase one grants,
yep.
that we had about $25,000 left. So to get to 25, we have to spend 50 to get it reimbursed.
Yep.
So Chuck just reached out to one manufacturer and got a couple quotes, which you saw.
Yep.
But again, that was Chuck probably doing very quick work to get us
Yeah,
something. Because again, we're up against, this phase has to be closed out by December 31st.
So I had a question, like, these are non-rigid, it's more of like a fabric?
Yep.
Are there rigid options? Like, that we wouldn't have to, because if we put this up, then we're putting more on the,
They would just have to remove it in the wintertime.
yeah, remove it, reinstall it, like, and, like, the more stuff we do at the park, the more stuff they're gonna have to do, like, adding these basins, they're gonna have to cut it a little bit different, adding the top lock, they're gonna have to do that a little bit. All of these canopies, because, like, I think the shade canopies for the top lock is probably similar, I think.
Yep.
So that's a lot more work that they're gonna be at the park doing. So,
Correct, and that just comes with putting any type of facility anywhere. Right, if you want more to do at a park, it's gonna require more maintenance, more upkeep, and more time and effort from the Public Works Department. And I wouldn't shy away from doing something good for the park, just for the sheer fact that, again, in the summertime, outside of the large paving projects that we do roadside mowing, they fix swales, and they do small stormwater projects. But it's not like winter maintenance where they're just running 24/7.
so you don't feel like this would be any kind of issue for them?
So I think Chuck said the wind sail can be taken up and down relatively quickly, and you put it up.
It's literally for, they make them with the, quick fastens, attachments, so it's literally a ladder, you're unhooking it and folding it and putting it away from the winter. So it's not a tremendous, half a day at best, I would think.
Probably folding it's the hardest part.
Yeah, we're balling it up and
Yeah.
shoving it. But, so, there's a little bit of that, and again, they could stay up all year, but I think the longevity, you definitely want to take them down in the winter, so you don't have that. But they are designed to withstand snow loads, they're designed to withstand wind loads, so they're kind of made for it, but, the fabric's gonna fade for sure, color-wise, you're gonna lose it, and it's just not gonna last as long. So I would definitely say you want to take it down every year.
But the actual, like, structure is kind of a one and done. If you have to replace the sail, that's a cost, but
It's
the
a solid,
structure itself is, like, you put it in once and that's it. That's
solid metal posts, kind of like they're like
Yeah.
playground posts, but they're big,
Yeah.
a little chunkier, and they just have, like, again, that one piece of hardware that fastens to the sail. It's pretty quick.
Have you used or seen other townships or parks use that shade systems right before? How much time are they getting out of it?
We put one in State College, trying to think, back in 2004. Like, it's been around for a while, and I know it's still there, and they still use it. So,
Same
Where-
shade.
same shade, they haven't replaced the shade even, yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it? We're going to State College next weekend, so.
Oh. It's called, that was called Circleville Park. Circleville Park is the name of it. It's just north of State College Borough. It's the next municipality up. Familiar with the Lowe's and the Home Depot that's up there?
Yeah.
It's close to those,
Okay.
but it's out that way.
North Atherton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, that was been for a while. It's white posts with blue shades, and And I'll verify it, but I'm pretty sure they're the original shades. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So the cost of that is installed was,
Three different options.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the big options, and the big expense with any of these, and I think the third option I gave you was like a cantilever, so it's 2 posts with like the big expense in all these isn't the fabric, it's the posts. It's the posts and the footers, because again, the footers are designed for major wind loads, like these are down in Florida, they're designed for Pennsylvania wind loads, I mean, they will be specific, but they're heavy duty, so the foundations on them are huge. So that is the big expense of any of these shade sails. So if you can reduce it from 2 to 4 posts, you're gonna save yourself a lot of money. But, I don't know, the 4 post ones they look really nice. The other ones look more like they're just kind of more generic, where the shade sail, you can get different shapes and color, could be nice.
right, the 4 poster, do you know that, Chuck? How much it is?
That is, I think, almost 50,000.
Okay. It's 50K, right? I'm sorry, Summer?
Yeah, it was 48,000.
Yeah,
So it'll be-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chuck, thanks.
The
So
biggest one?
that is 25,000 that's already secured, and
So-
25 from us?
Yes, so we would have to get DSNR approval to add it to the phase 1 plan. And because we're running out of time, and I don't know if Chuck knows, time from signing a proposal to installation, might have to give them, DSNR would have to, I don't want to give us an extension, they would have to probably give us the ability to pay for it prior to installation, and I just don't know.
You probably want to, yeah, I don't think they're gonna want to give you an extension, and, I have seen it where if you spend the money, like, pay the
Pay the bill.
Pay the bill.
invoice.
pay the bill and it gets installed in January, February, it's not out of the question, but I definitely want to run it by DC on that.
So which one was the larger, the one that went over the actual skate park itself?
There's 2 large.
The one I thought looked the best was the one that went over the bench, but it was the larger of the 2.
This is the last one.
Not the little one, and not the one that goes over the skate park. That's the actual park.
The green one in the middle.
Yeah, it was B.
Thank you.
A. No, not A.
B is the one that covers
B.
the bench.
We like to be.
Yes. We like B.
Parking lots.
Four posts.
So if you go down, like, and pull into the parking lot where it's the new spots, it's that bench right there. It's going behind that bench and then forward into the grass where I've seen like people sit.
Right.
Your bench is,
It's-
say it's
No, it's
square.
right there. That's the bench.
If you want to, just up and down.
And then this is all grass area. And then,
Thank you.
yeah.
You're welcome.
So,
I guess my question last time was, is it for spectators or is it for the skaters?
I would say spectator.
If it's for spectators, do we want to spend the 50,000 on the pavilion on the stage? It's gonna be right next to the skate
So we're not going to be able to add that to phase 1?
park. Oh, okay.
Because phase 1 was was reduced just for the skate park and the trail system.
I think where this is located, once you take the baseball field fences down and turn that area into more of a community area, be accessible to everyone. And I think what it looks like is that you get the pavilion for 25,000.
50, really.
Yeah.
So this-
No, 25 out of our pocket.
Get 25
So this one is sitting over where the first bench is off
Yeah.
of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I believe A is in as well, and then C kind of goes.
No, A is going over the skate park itself.
Okay, yes, A is going over the, thank you.
Over that circular entry.
Over, yeah, so that would be for skateboarders wanting to sit there. B covers the bench.
Spectators.
B is
Yeah,
almost,
B covers the bench,
and C is the same thing, but it's for the same
But a
bench.
little bit smaller, yeah.
A
Yeah,
little smaller,
so,
less expensive, because it's,
can we go back up to where A is?
sure.
Please, thank you.
Do you want?
Well, no, because I'm gonna, so B is just to the left of A.
Yeah. Yeah, where the little boxes.
Yeah,
that's the bench.
So
they
B would be
are-
over this.
That's why I'd like to see A, because B is literally right next to it.
So that's the bench,
To give you
and that's
privacy.
the handicapped for like someone in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Pull up.
As someone who has a small child who has tried to be a skateboarder at 2 years old, sitting on that bench,
It gets hot.
it gets out. So I think being able to cover the bench and the lawn that's surrounding that is definitely the way to go. Not to, you know, say that, sorry skateboarders, you don't get the shade, but like, you
They don't
can.
care.
You don't care, like, you're up and you're hot anyway, that I have seen them sprawl out on the grass.
Yeah.
So, next to the bench, because they're putting their stuff down there, like, they're gonna put their stuff down on the bench in the grass, because then it's not blocking the steps.
And that is
So,
concrete there.
yeah,
They can skate up there. and be the-
Yep, yep,
They can also skate to go there.
yeah, trust me, she was exploring the whole thing. So, coming from someone who has sat there and has had someone in the skate park, B is really the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I agree, so we have to make a motion as a
Any other
board
thoughts?
that we want to follow through on this.
Any other thoughts on this?
So that one's 50 or 48,000? Or is that less?
Yeah, I think it's 40.
So if the board wants to move forward with it, the next step is I would ask Chuck to reach out to DCNR to see if we can prepay and then move in front of the board of supervisors. Did you know the turnaround time, Chuck, for an installation? Like, if we voted on it,
They would balk, because we're getting late, but let me make that call first and just
just
see
do
what
the
we're
DCNR,
realistic.
yeah.
Yep,
So, did we wait too long?
it's just pushing the envelope. I mean, if they want to sell it, they hopefully should be able to accommodate it, but, the installation might be a challenge, just getting somebody lined up.
I mean, what, for the grant, do we have to show it installed, or can we buy the canopy and they split it with us?
Well, it's not, the bulk of the price is for the installation of the,
True, but
of that.
if we
So-
can't get it in time.
So that's the question we have, so I guess it's a two-parter. One, can we prepay it and have it installed later, next year? Or two, if not, can we just cover the cost of the canopy?
Or as much materials as we can buy.
Let me call DCNR and let me call the vendors for it, and let me see what
Okay.
we find out. Yep.
All right, so I guess at this point, you guys will take
Vote to
a
recommend.
vote to recommend to the board of supervisors that we go forward with this.
And you would like
And
B.
Plan B?
So I make a,
I'll make a motion, as Kevin said, to follow through with the possible installation of Plan B as far as the sunshade goes.
I second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thanks, guys. Chuck, that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we can always add that to another phase if it doesn't get approved.
Yes, correct.
Because I do think it is.
That's needing 25K on
It's a big hit and it's.
Well, if we can't use it, if they're not gonna let us use it.
No, I agree.
Then we can't use it.
I agree. All right,
We're gonna try.
we did our best,
That
right?
would be our option.
That's all we did.
Can only purchase now and get that covered. Installation, we get A and B installed.
Yeah, there'd be another question for DCNR, because I think they're gonna want a complete package, so we'll see. But maybe you guys can vote.
Yes.
It's concrete pier.
They love when I give more work, but yes.
That's big work.
Oh,
We brought TLCs before. We asked.
So Chuck, if it's necessary, then you can get a quote without installation, but just delivery of.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thank
Thank
you.
you guys for this. This could be a real win.
The journey, right? No. Figure it was worth the truck.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you.
Well, thank you, sir, so
Yep.
much. Look to see you soon
Okay.
with good news, all right? All right, number 3, the disc golf course. Joseph?
So, I talked to Scott, the disc golf course is on the UDisc, website, so he will now search in our area and see it. The course layout is there, some descriptions are there, so, the next step is he is in the process, he had somebody come down and take pictures, and they are designing, and they should have been done yesterday or today. He hasn't gotten the mower to me, but sending over like designs for signs to put out for the different holes. So he said once we approve them, it's probably a 1 or 2 week thing to get them here, and then however we want to install them, we can install them. He recommended like 4x4 posts, but I'm thinking we can even just use like the same stuff they use for road signs, like the little like unistrut type thing. But we can kind of see what that looks like when they get here. So that's where they're at with the signs. And the other thing I was discussing, I was talking to Tracy Olson, and she said maybe we should sell like sponsorships for the holes.
Yep.
And what we could do is underneath the sign, we could put up like Olson's Garage,
Whole
or
sponsored by.
whole sponsored by, and maybe that helps us, like maybe it's every couple of years, we ask for $100 or $150 a hole to help, with maintenance and painting. Because those are pressure treated boards that we put in, but maybe we should put a stain on them so that they don't rot over time. So there's stuff like that that I thought was a really good idea. And she said she'd probably get, find all the people to donate as it is by herself. So it would just be a matter of us being okay with that, and then how the process would be of accepting that money and putting it into a disc golf course account that can be used to maintain it. So.
And I also talked to him after I talked to Joe, and I feel really good about, Joe and I did a lot of the installation work, and, we had some questions. But after talking to him on the phone, he's willing to back his work up for 2, 3, 5 years if he had to. He's willing to come back out, and if we don't like the mats, or if we start to see issues with the mats, he has no problem with replacing every one of them. He even talked about doing the work himself. So I felt really good about the situation after I talked to him. I walked the course most recently, and it really looks untouched. It looks like the day that we put them in. So I've seen multiple people playing disc golf there, and we never even really made any big announcement. People are just finding out on their own. At Harmony Day, I think we will maybe take the box of discs there.
Yeah.
And talk more about the disc golf course. I think we're gonna hopefully we'll have a table there.
It would be nice to, once we do have all the signs and stuff, if we wanted to add like some kind of like little tournament or something. Maybe we do that in the spring or like during our Friday night thing.
Absolutely.
Just to bring more attention.
I think it's a good idea. I think it could be one of our days next year, if we, whatever
Like cornhole
next year looks
and-
like.
yeah.
But I wanted to, Joe, good job on that, man. That's a great course.
Thanks.
I have people talking to me, people, enthusiasts, disc golf enthusiasts, and I tell them it's a short course, but it's a tough course. And Joe had the course record at one time.
For about 25 minutes, until somebody actually knew what they were doing.
I was a part of the conversation when first sponsored the whole, obviously, I think it's a good idea. I just don't know,
What do we have to do?
like, how do we go about that whole process?
I could ramble, but I'll tell you right now, I will talk to Beth, the solicitor, and see kind of what that would look like. We do have the donation kind of guidelines, but I will speak with her and see what it looks like to go about something like sponsoring a whole and things like that.
Yeah, it says essentially we're giving them, we're allowing them to advertise, like, same thing with baseball, like, if you go down there, you see Honeybrook Golf Course, you see everywhere else, I think, Honeybrook, what's the bat called?
Animal hospital?
Yeah, that. So it would be the same type idea.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, just like a little tiny plaque,
Yeah.
and then say like every 2 or 3 years, like ask for like, okay, we want to redo the plaque, we need to do this and this for the thing, we ask for another $100 or $150
You just have
donation.
the
And it would have a fund.
sponsorship expire every 3 years.
Yeah.
Is that you do it?
Or every year.
Or every year, yeah.
I mean, there's some people who would really jump on this, I just know, like Honeybrook, I won't quote
It's like a
names in
regular golf
public.
course.
I know that this will sell, so, and I'll be glad to solicit,
Get a restaurant on like whole
Solicit.
quarter now.
people who wanna participate if we're allowed.
Yeah. All right, that's that.
All right, thanks. Item number 4, the Twin Valley Baseball Association contract discussion.
No?
I
So,
don't know
the
anything about,
official recommendation is due, it's in here. During the October Brecken Park meeting, you guys will have to make a motion to recommend or not recommend to continue the Twin Valley Baseball Association contract. Obviously, it's up to the board of supervisors, but you guys do have.
Do you have record of what our recommendation was last year?
I do.
Last year was to continue, it was to continue with the contingencies of no more than one game to be played at the exact same time. There were certain days of the week that they were only allowed to play. I can pull the contract and actually look at it, but there were stipulations to the agreement last year.
Okay.
As I remember, we left it up to, they would be held to the same rules as everyone else, and township was that to give a schedule ahead of time, and, you know,
We received
Stick-
baseball
stick to the
schedule ahead of
schedule.
time, yep, and to my knowledge, they stuck to their baseball schedule pretty well. We have yet to receive schedule for fall ball. That's pretty much the only updates I have there.
So they did not complete the checklist, which we agreed to. We've had an issue where they parked along Simply Road.
Right.
We've had issues where they've parked on neighboring properties. We've had issues where they've played multiple games at the same time. They're still not cleaning up the litter. And they're generally not responsive.
and when it came time to discuss it, they chose not to participate in our Alamo Park master plan. So, you know,
Force them to one game at a time, if taking the other 2 fields out.
where do we go from here? We're now
What I was
talking
saying,
about
we need to
phase, I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's saying that we need to make that decision come October, so we need to be
Preparedness.
prepared next month for that. If you could get the current contract out and the checklist, which we didn't do.
So the checklist is part of
Okay.
part of the agreement,
And
which
just
we
highlight-
agreed to, we sat down and agreed to it beforehand, and I think we only got a third of
Are you
The
probably a
check was
different
back.
individual this year anyway?
We said, when I left here, they actually were much more lenient when it moved up, you know, and they couldn't hold they couldn't hold to those standards. So, if I remember, we sent very little wiggle room up to the board of supervisors.
So my recommendation was giving a chance because they had switched from Little League to the, you know, the Calvert-Kin Baseball Association, and there was a change in, who was running the organizations. And again, even though we had issues for several years, I thought it was prudent to give them one final opportunity to show that they really did believe in this collaborative effort, because again, ultimately it is a township park. As we've seen, the skate park is taking off. The number of people not playing baseball and using other activities there, I think, has increased over the last year. You have the disc golf course going there. And again, if the board wants us to remove Field 3 to get that community park space open, we can do that this year. And again, if that phase 2 starts occurring, we're talking about, you know, starting that in 2027, then we would probably start doing some pre-work in 2026 to remove the facilities and the items that we can do when the Public Works Department has some available time, which could be removing Field 3 and prepping that for the forthcoming pickleball.
And the good news about that is, you know, it's always been in the plan to keep the best field, the biggest field, the one in the middle there, for their use if they choose.
Or for anybody to use.
For anyone's use. It's still going to be a very good field.
And just finally, we'll say, I think the board will take, the supervisors will take the position of this committee coming this fall. So if you feel strongly one way or another, I believe you'll have the board, yeah, the full support from the board of super. Because again, in the ordinance, this, you know, Rec and Park is in charge of the operations of the township parks. That's under your jurisdiction.
And if we did not accept the contract, the current snack bar that's gonna be demoed at some point should be empty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They've already started they've already started pulling, I think the one fridge is out.
Coca-Cola
A lot of the
company.
stuff, yeah. A lot of the stuff is
Well,
disappearing.
they're probably paying for that usage.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola drugs.
And like the stuff.
Came and got it, I don't think
like,
they had called.
The food in that area, well, how'd they get in? You know what I mean? Do they have a key? Does Coke have a key?
What's that?
Baseball has a key.
Baseball.
Because they have it there.
So somebody had to be there to let them in and take it.
And those sheds that are there, that's baseball stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
So that would all, cool.
Yes, and we've had issues with them telling them that they need to secure it. The two existing ones, and they have not done so.
We will come prepared next month and.
I will get you guys the last year's contract. Super. Either tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
Thank
you
you.
can start to review it and actually take on
And have we heard from the league at all as far as, or do they want to continue with the contract? Or no?
So before it was written that it automatically renewed every November, when we removed that clause, and we indicated that come November, we would renegotiate, re-sign it in December. So that's why your recommendation in October would drive the board's discussion in November, and ultimately, if we elect to not renew it, it would just expire.
I think no matter what we really decide to be in the contract or this or that, we really need to have contact with baseball. Like, that should be somewhere in the contract if we choose to recommend pursuing it. Like, they should have to come to one meeting a year or
So-
something like that.
We
It's
tried
like
that
there's
soon,
no
believe it or not.
So
yeah,
it's
try to
required
have
that they
them sit on
attend
the
two
back.
township board meetings,
Okay.
board of supervisors meetings a year, and they.
But no park and rec,
Oh, good.
maybe park and rec should be included in
Well,
that.
they came twice and then we didn't see them for years.
And if you recall, prior to this, we did have two members of the Baseball Association be appointed, and then they, I think they both So they did have an opportunity to have a voice on the board, and
Yeah,
they just didn't follow through.
if they're not following up with the requirements, I guess, what do you do?
Again, the middle of this park, there's always gonna be, it looks like there's always gonna be a baseball field in the middle of this park.
Right, but it doesn't mean that it has to go to that organization, it go to another, or it just be a space for.
I was really talking about the game of baseball.
Baseball will still be decentralized.
Anti-baseball.
No, it's still the center of that township park. Yes.
So, you know, what you choose to do with it is, it's up to you.
Are they supposed to maintain the fields still?
So we cut it on our schedule, but if they want further maintenance, they're supposed to.
But I meant
The infield, so we cut it when we cut our township park, but if they want to cut more frequently, they're supposed to do that, they're supposed to, you know, maintain the infields.
that's what I was gonna say, the infields are all starting to overgrow. I mean, you can cut it all you want, but you have to rake it, and you have to actually kill all the grass.
So the person from doing the softball for fall ball reached out and requested that we do the maintenance, and we sent back the contract, clearly stating that we just mow the grass. We can spray for the weeds along the fence line, but raking and maintaining the other parts of the infield is not.
Are responsible.
So if we dissolve our relationship with them, will we take that over then?
Yes,
But just for the one field?
for the one field, yeah. That would become part of the maintenance
It won't
schedule.
get as much usage, so it's not gonna be, as far as raking dirts and doing
Yeah.
things, it's not gonna be that.
I don't know.
And I have no doubt that another ball agent, you know, another Little League or another
I
Team.
know, there's a lot of girls softball.
would probably be interested in
outside
using that as a
schools,
practice
so.
field.
That would be really good.
And then we could, again, have a similar contract. Again, we just want good stewardship, right? If you,
Yeah,
if you wish to use it at no charge, which we have not been charging them, then again, asking for basic maintenance to keep it presentable, I don't think is a,
It's not a big.
you have to be invested in
Yeah.
making that field what you want it to be.
thanks.
Next
Recreation and park activities, Harmony Day. Well, thanks everybody for responding on the, you know, who can make it and everything. We'll have a couple bouncy houses there. We'll have a table for the park and rec. Thought maybe we could give out some free water. And,
We can give out all the food and stuff we have left over if we want.
yeah,
Chips and
yeah.
water, everything we have from the summer.
We have things still that we could put on the table as far as to give. I also have,
Crafts out there, or you
The
not?
more I
not
thought
with it?
about it, I don't
Too
think I
much?
want to, it's too much.
I think maybe a map of, are we allowed to put up a map of the,
Master plan?
master plan?
Sure.
Like print it out, put it on
Put it on the board?
We had it on nice
So
poster.
we could talk about that.
That was the
Well,
old one.
We could have grabbed Chuck's board that he had with him, but he's gone.
Where's he live?
York.
York. I only need it for Saturday.
How big a look can you?
We can only print 11 by 17.
Right.
That's probably fine, because you can like explain it to people, oh, this is good.
I can,
Yeah,
I can't make any promises, but I might be able to enable the photo to get it onto 211 by 17, so create a.
Oh, slightly bigger.
I
maybe
can't do
table
math,
to table.
but yes, but a bigger poster, 211 by 17s, side by side. I might be able to cut it and get it on there. But no promises, but I will try tomorrow.
I have that printout, an original, before we really start talking to Scott or Steve. The fiscal.
The fiscal? Yeah.
Which one was it? Scott?
Steve.
Before, I had a printout, it has the baseball fields on it and everything. It doesn't give us the whole layout, it gives us an awful lot of the park. And it's big and it's colorful.
Well, that's what she's gonna print out, is nice.
This
No,
is,
I
this is 3 feet, this is
Yeah, so he's saying you have like almost the whole park.
3 by 3, almost.
Yeah.
We put it up on the wall there.
Yeah,
And I'll just bring it, maybe we could
Yeah.
tack it up on the board or something.
yeah, but
Just
Miranda,
as
if
a
you
prop.
can
I
get
guess I will
us
still attempt, and then even if you want, I can still print some smaller versions of the park layout, that way you can have them on the table, and you
Yeah.
can see side by side.
Do you have this on, is it a PDF?
It's just
Oh,
a
yes.
PowerPoint.
It's a PowerPoint? But, yeah, but, so it's just like a picture?
Yeah.
How big can you do?
11 by 17 is the biggest, I'm gonna try and
It's
create
pretty
a
good. 100 by 17.
22
Yeah, it's
wide,
not that
whatever it is.
So,
Can you do anything?
that's you.
I'm like trying to think if there's a key or something.
There is a place, FedEx,
Staples will do it.
But
FedEx.
Miranda, you can try and at least have like a 11 by or 10, whatever, a normal size sheet of paper sheet in it. Extra copies, that would be.
Can you send a picture, like, the file to the group?
Yeah.
So if we
Okay.
can get
Do
to
you
see.
want-
So it's in your agenda packet, which you can download.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
And then there's a couple extra of these sitting
Oh, yes, sitting.
in
out
the
there.
agenda packet file right next to the door. You can grab all the leftover ones.
Sorry, if you want them, they're out there.
Oh, no, I mean, these are
Yes,
fine.
yes, yep.
I just mean like, if I have the digital copy, I can take the
It's in your,
staples.
when you go log into
Yeah,
your,
no,
it's
that's-
it's
yeah,
it's an
Yeah,
attachment.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Is the quality,
I'm gonna be copyrighted, made out.
Look like a PDF, you know.
yeah.
FedEx office near Bonefish
Yeah,
does it.
I was thinking that, like, what, isn't there staples in? Yeah.
FedEx is cheaper.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
Right,
best
so,
we can.
So we have the crew for
Where are we meeting?
the meet
At what time?
at the park.
Sherry,
I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
for things on the table, Sherry mentioned to me making a little
Oh, good.
survey on Fridays. So
Yeah.
I just like, it's so basic, but I figured like when somebody hands me something to fill out, if it looks like more words than this, I usually don't. So it just basically, we could set them on the table and encourage people to fill them out, but it's just how many did you come to, and it could be 0 or it could be 3, whatever. What did or what would you enjoy about Fun Fridays? What could be done to improve them, and then how did you hear about them? So just some basic questions. If anybody wants to add something, we can, but just so there's something for feedback.
I think it's a great idea. Coming
We do have
off,
golf
I think it's fun.
So we can,
What's that?
so they can't see we don't have it, so, yeah, we can
Yeah.
use ball pencils and,
Perfect.
Do you want me to, because I'll be there at the beginning. Aren't you coming late?
No, I can be there early, I just have to leave like 2:30.
Okay, we'll bring them with you.
What,
Yeah, I'll bring them.
what time do we need to be there?
You can come in anytime between 11 and 12. The skate event kicks off at 12:30. The barbecue and the music starts at 12. The skate starts at 1:30. The music and the barbecue starts at 12.
What time, where do we, like, so I know there's, like, where do you want us to park? So if we want to get there early and help with parking, where we?
Yeah, we're all going to be parking behind the church to begin with. There's room for 150 cars there. We're going to keep the parking lot at the park open because that's where the shuttle's going to come in and drop people off and then go back up to the shuttle. And the church is sponsoring the shuttle
Are you guys gonna
through
have,
Eshelman's.
are you gonna have somebody stationed at the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say, to trip.
I was gonna say, we should have cones,
Yes. It's all-
so that we can cone it off and say, hey, you can't park here, go to the church, like, somebody
Yep.
can lean in that direction. That's why I said, what time do you want us to?
You have the,
I
so
have-
Kevin has the cones and
We're
the
a good
event
spot.
parking signs.
What a good spot. We need manpower.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, what time do you want? 11?
Yeah, sometime between 11 and 12. People may start coming at 11.
Well, the vendors are gonna be starting.
The vendors will be set up by 11 to 12, and they have permission to pull into our parking lot and unload their stuff, but we're gonna ask them also to park up behind the church. Just gonna keep the car traffic in the parking lot low.
Well, yeah, so that's why, like, if you wanna, because people could be in the park actually doing stuff, like, at the, like, if they're just there to walk or something. So you wanna get there early enough that you can let those people out, but then you don't let anybody else in.
No, we're gonna be there real early. This thing is really gonna be, full court press.
So 11.
Yeah, I would say 11's probably a good time. It's gonna be a long day.
And then Kevin, I have the 2 big trash cans that are in the office.
Right.
They can stay here, or you can take them with you. But-
Yeah, I'm gonna load up my truck tonight.
And then once this is all kind of up and going, what other jobs do we have?
Really, the main jobs are the bouncy house guy was very concerned about making sure there were one person for each bouncy house. There's a small one for Crayola, and that's for the little toddlers, or the smaller kids. And there's an obstacle course, a 360, he calls it a 360 obstacle course for the bigger kids.
Where are they setting that up?
In the baseball field, right where we have them for the,
Gotcha.
for the Fun Fridays.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it that I see as far as just mingling, all of us, you know, just keeping an eye on everything
And then we have the table.
and having a good time. We're
We
gonna have a table, yeah, it's gonna be near the kiosk.
Gotcha.
And there's gonna be couple public service, there's 17 vendors altogether. Most of them are skate related, but the local chiropractor in Honeycrook's gonna come and set up a booth, which is really cool. And someone from mental health from Chester County is gonna come and set up a booth too. And then us. And there'll be a food truck there on our side, there'll be a shaved ice truck there on our side, and I'm hoping that both crowds intermingle.
We're tense right there.
There'll
so
be
it should
food,
be easy.
yeah, there'll be food. There'll be food on the church property too, and music.
So these water bottles are where in the dugout?
They'll be there, I'll make sure they're there in the morning. They'll worry about
I was
that.
thinking we want them cold.
Yeah.
Oh, we can, I mean,
I'll have one
bring a
nice
cooler.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, that's what I was gonna ask. I need one more big cooler.
Oh, I got it. Very cool. Right? The weapons in the basement?
Is it okay?
Is at the State College.
There's one, I don't know which
I
one.
think the blue ones.
Is it okay if I use that water cooler for the 5K race? They need paper cups and they can't drink out of bottles of water running, so. But,
That's up there.
yeah, it's in the snack bar.
Yep.
So I really appreciate
Are all
it.
we want the little pencils, are they still in the stack there?
Should be.
I'll have the snack shack unlocked, okay? I mean, yeah, I'll have it unlocked or we'll have the keys there. I need to go back in it. And I'll be there early and often. And I recruited a friend of mine to help us also. And if anyone else has a family member that wants to come and help us, it'd be good. And my friend, I asked him to be the guy at the gate for vendors and just a little bit of crowd control. There's plenty of signage and I think it'll be fun. Hopefully, the weather's gonna be nice.
Do we have anything to direct people to park at the overflow parking at the other? Okay.
You know, when we're gonna shut off the church parking lot, we're gonna shut it off, okay? There's gonna be signs that say, let's go up the street. And once you get up there, there's gonna be event parking sign up there, and we'll open that up. It may even be open, they may be open simultaneously. So if you choose to park because the shuttles are gonna be up there, whether they're still parking at the Baptist church or not. So, both parking lots may be open at the same time. I guess that's about it. That's it.
That's a discussion to everybody.
Are we doing anything for handicap parking? Like is,
They get to come in.
are they gonna get parked at like the skate park? Or,
He has handicap parking, he has handicap parking there.
okay.
He has it, basically, the closer parking spots are gonna be for handicap parking. That's probably gonna fill up quick. but the shuttles are really for handicap. It's really to, because it's not a long walk.
No.
But he was worried about if, people who aren't great walkers, people might want to ride, that's why he did the shuttle.
I just meant like, if you have somebody like in a wheelchair, are they gonna be able to get through the grass to go to the skate park?
I think that would be allowed in and to drop off the handicap.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right?
Yeah. I didn't know if you were gonna use like that front row or something for like.
It's only 7 cars, there are 9 cars. You're talking about the row along Simply Road?
Yeah. It's not like.
It's not much. We could fill it up, and if someone comes in with a blue Packard, or blue
Yeah.
Yeah, black.
placard,
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad idea. If we're going to fill them up for anyone, that would be for the,
Yeah.
That's why I just said if you wanted to have
I think
handicap
it's-
there, and then if you run out of that, then you could go out to the.
yeah, that's a good faith effort. And plus, the pastor has
Yep.
parking just as much, as close proximity as those ones you're talking about for the crowd. You good?
Or you put their grants.
We good?
All right, that's
There's
good.
this big one there at the end.
All activities?
No, no, it doesn't.
I think we're just looking at the tree here.
Yeah, we need to reschedule to not be the first Wednesday.
As far as fall activities, I am okay with just starting the day in the tree lighting this year.
I'm good with that.
I second that motion.
Okay.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Done. That was quick.
And then just look,
All right, what's up with the budget?
Oh, well,
Right.
budget requests need to be submitted to Miranda.
Miranda, help us.
September
Why
30th.
did you say you can't do?
You already told us.
Yes.
this
Yep.
year's comp plan task force meeting.
Okay.
That is it.
And
So you
some
guys-
you're gonna resubmit
Yeah, so
your trees.
last year, I put in the request for pollinator garden and the installation of shade trees. Should I apply for both of those even though they're up in the air? I think it's better to apply and not use them. Or-
I think that
Is this
we were talking about, I think Chuck
And even
was
this-
talking about the skate park 3 foot, that we were talking about just doing that this year anyway, like out of our own budget, so yeah.
Okay, so just.
I would apply for
I figured
everything.
you might as well put it in, because the pollinator garden, we can definitely do pretty much regardless, looking at the sketches that we're doing, if we put it in that back meadow area.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
But then with the shade tree installation, I guess apply for it, and then if we end up wanting to wait until the construction's done or whatever.
Where were you thinking of putting it?
I don't think we really picked the spot, I know we were talking
I
about
was
like,
looking, like, this is all, like land we can't use, and I was talking to Doug, like, do we just plant like a ton of like native wildflowers out there and just let it go? And not even cut it anymore?
yeah, I think like.
Or would you-
And then maybe cut a trail, yeah, it is wet.
Yeah, that's the only concern, I would have to do some research, to be honest, I'm not sure exactly.
So can we do something like that, or
Just,
What are we doing?
and then stop cutting it.
use
Let it go.
use that open space?
Basically,
Because we
making
can't, we can do absolutely nothing with that property. It usually gets pretty wet, and you're not gonna be able to build on wetlands, so.
I think Chuck might have mentioned like doing some native grasses.
Yeah.
Because I don't know like wildflower wise what's gonna grow well in that soil, but even if we did some grasses or just something, yeah.
Say black-eyed
There are
Susans
some
might be your friend
certain,
for that area.
What's that?
Black-eyed Susans might be your friend if you want some flowers.
I've heard that,
Yeah.
they love
Research
wetland
trees.
rain gardens,
Okay.
and they'll come up with plants, because what they do is they suck up on it.
Could we change the layout of that area below the skate park? I mean, right now, there's the hole number 1, T.
Well,
Two is,
I think you just leave that where it is, and then everything behind it, like, there's quite a bit of land just sitting there behind it that you could just stop.
So I don't have the answer, but I'm going back to if you want to do something, put it for the financial.
There's no really cost nothing, it would just, you just stop cutting it and put some seeds down.
But some are some that hurt trees and all that.
Yeah.
I would still put it in the trees and stuff.
Yeah, okay, so I'll put in pollinator garden.
And if this would get adopted, you would kinda,
Like,
certainly.
Yeah, we could put them in those.
yeah, we could just start
Yeah.
putting them where he says, like,
So if
there's
this
3
is
trees that go
adopted
along
by
the
next
path,
year,
just
we
put
could
them
be
in.
planting trees.
Yeah. And then we don't have to use that money from
Exactly.
our.
Yep.
One of the other things budget-wise is to keep the budget for parks and, thank you, Fun Fridays.
Yeah, that can stay the same.
Stay the same.
Need a-
Do you guys recall what the amount you asked for last year was?
I didn't submit that one, so.
Okay.
No, that's not a budget request, that was
That
just,
was
how,
under,
how-
that was under 5,000.
how much do you-
It wasn't a capital improvement or anything.
so how much do you want for your general expenditures, Family Fun Fridays, your tree lighting, your Harmony Day, the materials you wanna buy to provide?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go like, you said we were about 5,000 last year, or whatever, but I mean, if you do that, and it's kind of like a slush fund for Fun Fridays, for the tree lighting, like that'll buy you the hot chocolate and whatever.
Just give me a number, you want $8,000?
Did we spend it all?
I don't think so.
No.
With the Harmony Day charges, you got close, but I don't think you're over yet.
Okay.
I will
What
say
were we
that-
last year?
Hmm?
What was it, 5,000?
I believe we're right around 5,000
I
last
think
year,
so.
the way we got approved into the budget.
Alright,
I can't
so why don't we just do
8, 10.
I love that.
Well, we are wanting more bounce houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say, the bounce houses are making
Yeah.
sense.
So again, it's just your operating cost outside of what the township does paying for the bills, right? And the reality is, asking for that or having 10,000 so you can do more or less isn't going to sway the board to not approve capital purchases. So it truly is, what do you guys need to be successful with what you want to do next year? And the board just needs to know that number. And I've always said it before, if you think you need 8, ask for 10.
Yep.
Right? If you think, and to Summer's point is, if you don't use it, it just isn't used, right? So having it on a line item just allows us that it's pre-approved and we know that the fund is solid with what you ask. If you don't use the money, it just falls right back into our fund reserve. The funds are healthy in the general funds. We don't typically use all of the $60,000 maintenance funds for the park and rec. So again, if you want 10,000 just to cover yourselves and you only use 5, it's not a problem. It doesn't mean the next year we're gonna say, oh, you only used 5, you're 5. We'll keep giving you whatever you need to be successful. So it's not,
Tentative?
yeah, it's just, you know.
It's just like pre-approved, and if we come in and say we want to do a new event.
Right, if you
and
need 3
funds
bounce
there,
castles,
we
yes.
can
Yeah.
do it.
Like, I think what we were talking about with Fun Fridays, like, if we decide to do every other week, but we do more, like, we do a bounce house every other week or something, you're gonna chew through a little bit more money than we did this time.
10,000.
Yep.
10,000.
When do we put in, do we put that in today?
No, I know, no, so that's not a capital fund request, that's just
Expense.
an expense that goes out of the rec, so we make sure that when we do the intergovernmental fund transfer, that we'll make sure that, when the budget's approved, we're gonna transfer $10,000 more out of general to funds.
So, Kevin, this budget discussion, it is mainly regarding capital request, which is $5,000 or more. And that is, the form is in all of your inboxes, so if there's something you want to do that costs $5,000 or more, that form needs to be either in mine or Warren's inbox by September 30th. That way we can, this budget discussions start in October.
So I don't think the only thing I think we asked for last year was the disc golf and the trees. Yeah. So I think we're only gonna go for capital wise would be pollinator and the trees.
And then just, because we have possibly some things already are gonna be happening, new things are gonna be happening.
Yeah, so I don't think.
We may be developing a community area next season, next year.
But I don't think, we would need capital funds for that, right? You're just pulling. fence
So
posts
I'm
out.
just trying to plan for next year, but the reality is, if something happens in April and we tear down the field 3, and the board feels strongly about putting the million in next year and not making it part of a phased or a grant program, and say that costs $25,000, there's nothing to say that mid-next year, you want to do something that hasn't been budgeted for, then that request just goes back to the board, and we just approve unallocated funds. it's just an extra step, you know, and again.
Instead of having it approved already.
So it's already approved, we already know there's numbers, again, we try to have a pretty well thought out budget. But again, things come up, we have expenses that we didn't expect to occur year to year, and the reality is we have a healthy fund balance of multiple funds to ensure that that's not going to negatively affect the services we provide.
Good question. As for the 3-year term of maintenance, does that cost us anything from the?
No, that's free of charge, and that
That's like a
starts.
warranty type thing? Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't, I wanted to put, if there is a charge.
No, it's free of charge, and that starts when the performance bound ends in November, and what's going to happen, when that Armin spoke, is, just like when your 1-year warranty on your house expires, you get a end walkthrough, and then there's gonna be a punch list that will be put in, and even though the warranty is expired, the punch list still has to be completed until the project's continuing, to do that. Matt was out Monday with, some concrete mix. He actually heard about a new product that another skate park was using that held up better, so he actually started using that product. So he was out Monday starting the repairs of the issues that we brought to his attention. And again, I have no doubt that if after 3 years we're still having ongoing issues, he'll just continue to extend it at cost us.
I visited Matt at the park that day as he was working on it. And he skated every square inch of that park. And after the meeting, after our last board of supervisors meeting, and he takes his job very seriously. And he takes that is his work, and he is going to make sure it stays in good shape.
So as far as this last item with capital, the only capital project we're looking for next year is Summers.
Pollinator
Trees and
garden in the shade, in the trees.
Okay, that's fine.
And then we're gonna give the board $10,000 for operating expenses for the activities that the Rec and Park Committee does throughout the year.
Yes.
Perfect.
And Summer, if you have last year's request,
Yeah, just forward.
just forward it and we'll just
We'll update the
scratch,
dates, all that fun
just
stuff.
scratch 6 over the 5. And then you don't have to work it from scratch unless you think the prices
Okay, perfect.
have changed.
So technically that was approved. Is there any bushes or anything that we want to put in? Is
So
it not a good time to plant?
there is the stuff, and again, Summer is gonna get back to me about putting the screening.
Yeah, that screening was in the YSM phase though, so I didn't think that was.
So we can do that ourselves.
And
Our intent was, I believe the board's intent was they wanted to do it this year and not push it out 3 years.
Okay.
So,
Yes, let's do that.
so we have enough in our maintenance fund that if we can get them at a reasonable cost, we can install them this year, because I don't want,
Okay.
um,
So do I need to talk to Chuck about what trees I'm thinking, or how do you want me to go about it?
so if you wanna give me a recommendation of what you believe should be planted, and again, he's talking like a 3-foot shrub and tree mix.
Right there from.
Yeah, if you wanna let me know, or if you have Chuck's contact, you're welcome to email him or call him. Cause again, I would like to do that this year and make.
Yeah, I mean, now's a good time to plant it, so.
Was there any other, like, since that was already approved this year, is there any other trees that you would want to put in? Or do we want to?
I mean, you guys help me, I just like wouldn't wanna like, I guess ask for the money, put it in, and then it be in the way of what we're doing, so I mean, if you guys tell me, I'll figure it out.
So anything around the skate park, I think is not going to change. I mean, we're not going to change.
Correct, with the understanding that we're only interested in putting screening of about 3 feet. We don't really want to cut off access to, you don't want to block your facilities
No.
from the road.
What about to the side of it,
What's that?
like to the side of the skate park, if you're looking at the front of it, you mentioned like
The frontage on Sipley Road, we wanna
Yeah.
do something in.
what about to the side? Or around?
You could, yeah. I mean-
So he, like, if you, like, he has,
You're saying over here, right? Mm-hmm, yeah, I'm saying like all this.
so he's saying, like, this path is staying that we have. And then there's 3 trees here that he has, and then he also has a tree in this corner, which I don't know if it exists yet, and you have a tree here that doesn't exist yet, I don't think.
Okay, so
And then you see those shrubs, like,
Need shrubs right here.
Yeah.
you see, so that's kind of stuff like,
We need those 3-foot shrubs and then trees here. You're saying do you want to put something along there though?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would hurt anything to put stuff on there.
I'll tell you, take a look, there's gonna be a great opportunity on Saturday with vendors there along, and they're gonna be right along there, so then you can really get a vision for where.
I would still put it in for 5,000 next year, but if you can spend some of it this year, then
I think that's what we talked about,
Do both.
doing like some over time,
Yeah.
rather than like all those plants.
yeah, and the more we put in and do in little phases, the less of a full, like, all at once kind of capital hit you're gonna take.
Or is this part of the neighbor's request, or the neighbor's concerns?
That's gonna
The
help.
neighbor's concern was, along Sipley Road.
Yeah.
And Chuck prepared that little sketch last month that you had, it's in this last month's board packet. If you exit, in fact, go down. Is that this month or, no, this is still.
This is August.
Oh.
But I didn't realize that we were just buffering.
We're not trying to.
Yeah,
We're just trying to kind of obscure it a little bit for them.
The landscape buffer right there, we're into that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't, it's not that, to give them something other than this.
Can you scroll down and see if there's a layout?
Give them some nice, nice flowering trees.
Yes, so,
You know,
so this is what
Yeah.
summer
It'd be
views.
very pretty in the spring, there we go.
Sorry, it's still rotating for some reason, hold on. I'm gonna
Stop,
rotate it
stop.
back
Right,
properly.
yeah, just leave it, so
Alright.
like, that was what he was talking about, with the
Yeah.
shrubs and that. And of course, they're upside down, but that's.
Yeah, the plants, I was just curious about the plant selection.
I don't know why he did that. He would probably be the one to ask. If you
Yeah.
have alternatives.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do any shrubs, but I can definitely help with like putting some flowering trees in there, as long as it's okay that there's a couple trees in there. 'Cause
Yeah, I think he was
obviously
talking about
You want me to rotate
some
it?
trees,
Yeah.
some
Okay.
trees and some
That
shrubs.
was
Stop.
I think it was one red bud and
That's
the rest
much
were
better.
shrub.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the plant chart. It was
Okay.
like one red bud and then a bunch of miscellaneous shrubs. And that's when I asked the question, like, if that was gonna satisfy whatever buffer we were trying to do.
So he was worried about the noise, and I think by having the 3 foot, he's not looking for the visual, the hoping is that having
Yeah,
that.
that was what my question was. But I mean, obviously, like, let's plant some trees. Good time to do it, and I think it'll dress up the park a little bit.
Yeah, we just don't wanna add trees all the way through, or else you're just gonna be.
Well, we were
So,
talking about a
it looks
private
like
path.
there's one here,
Right there.
maybe do
So-
one here.
And then you're talking about on
Yeah, I was
this?
talking about like this area, because then on the chart, it has some trees here.
Mhm, yeah,
They're not here, but they.
yeah, this wouldn't be blocking off the view from
Yeah.
Sipley, I don't think that would
Actually,
be bad.
when they get big enough, they'll actually provide a little bit of
The
shade.
shade.
Mhm.
And
So
then
maybe put some
to-
shade trees here.
Yeah.
Give them all day.
To deter.
You know,
the
Rachel.
on that part,
What?
the concern.
He's at least young enough, he's
Like, I know it's a way away.
The pond is
It's
way
like,
above.
yeah, get to see it.
Yeah.
I think it was all-
I've planted trees in our front yard, and they're still like this big.
Right.
I know, they take forever.
In my brain, I'm not gonna cross the trees.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's gonna be like a wall of trees.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Right,
yeah.
but I think our initial salvo should be getting a happy neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can recommend somebody that sells
Yeah.
shrubs or you find a cost.
Yeah.
If you wanna reach out to Chuck and say, you know, can we put a couple extra more in,
Yeah,
of the trees, if you have them that you wanna have in, then yeah, I don't mind a couple. Because we have some trees up over here existing.
yeah.
And that's just, he needs that for his cost.
Mhm.
When we get down to it, he's not, oh, we don't need these trees, they're already
Yeah.
there, you know? Or, oh, she used this bush instead of that bush, we gotta rip them out, that's not happening either.
Yeah.
No, he just put this in with a conversation we had with the neighbor.
Yeah.
He put it into that
Yeah.
cost estimate, which is the next sheet up. Miranda, if you scroll up. Oh, boy.
All right, hold on, it's
Hold on.
gonna take a second to get correct.
Oh, boy. So again, he, you know, I'm sure he just has an estimated cost for the trees, so that, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7,300.
70, yeah, and that's probably mostly for the shrubs, because the flowering tree only had it.
Yeah, that was, yeah, because there was only one, and I remember thinking there should be a little, maybe a little more than that, but.
Well, I need to know a landscape allowance, which would include the planting and all that stuff. so-
Correct, so we have enough in our maintenance budget this year, if that's, even if it was 7, which I would assume if the roof department can put them in, that would probably be only the cost of the.
But we also have her $5,000 thing from this year.
That's what she's talking about using the
And,
5,000.
and then he has, like, we have some money in the $60,000 too.
We do, so again, you have to find that, so there's enough money in the budget to accomplish it, whether we use.
Both or whatever.
Again, it's coming out of the same line item, that just allowed us to know that if we went through with this, it's already been approved, and this would fall under maintenance. Anyway, and upkeep.
Yeah, I think we could easily this year do the 5,000 and make a nice screen for it, and then next year put it in for more trees.
And then next year when we do the, like, open space, maybe we try to plant some trees around that too.
Yeah.
Just make it not look like a blank field.
I would say just put some thought into it
Yeah.
before, let's just not just go.
So you
willy-nilly
can get the
and go
budget
down.
in, and then when it comes to implementation, then you can sit down and think. But again, you want the funding first to make sure that, you know, that you're okay with
And I think
putting it out.
I think it would be good to check with Chuck as well, just because he might be familiar with.
What, the best,
The best type of tree.
Well, that's why I think he
Yeah.
had it, that's why he had it noted as
It's not, it's not as dirty, it's not gonna drop a bunch of crap on the skates or.
All excellent considerations, you know. Okay.
that would be whether you use it to create the tree itself.
Miranda's over there yawning. I think she's sleeping.
I'm leaving without being adjourned.
Yeah.
Yeah. This past my turn.
What do you guys say?
I'm ready to go. Second, aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh.
Thanks, everybody.
Joe
for
made the
your input.
motion.
Oh, I thought you made the motion, that's why I said second.
Thanks,
I was
everybody.
leaving.
She's leaving, wow.
I have to be in Lancaster at 7:20.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
See you Saturday.
Thanks, everyone, for the input.
You can turn your light back. I'll see, because these are all very, very, very small.